My name is Veronica, and I do a bi-monthly or bi-weekly, whichever it is, it's every other week, teleconference titled Illuminations. And what I plan to do for YouTube is to create videos that will give a little summary about what I spoke about. Today's topic was the difference between duality and reality, let's say, and finding that middle place. We are in a time where we are experiencing a little bit of both worlds. I wouldn't even say a little bit of both worlds because, in all honesty, we know what it's like to feel duality in an everyday experience. In the 80s, I read the book Illusions and Jonathan Livingston Seagull by Richard Bach. I was raised metaphysically, and when I read Illusions, I thought, wow, this is a really cool book. And I'm not sure which one it is specifically, but I think it was Illusions, and I'm talking 25 years ago, so bear with me here. When I read Illusions, I remember there was a part in the book that we could look at the clouds and decide whether or not we wanted to see those clouds disappear. So what the Messiah was trying to teach was this idea that we can create our reality or change things by simply willing them or using our mind to change our reality, let's say. I spent a lot of time staring at clouds, trying to make them disappear, trying to make them morph into something completely different. And even though I was raised metaphysically and had, lessons on hands-on healing when I was little and really was so open to all of these experiences, I was never able to have a cloud completely disappear on me. I did notice, however, that if I stared at a cloud long enough, I could notice the so-called bunny, or whatever the object that I was noticing in the cloud, shift and change into perhaps a lion. And was that me changing it? Did I say, geez, I wonder what it's going to look like, in 5 minutes if I stare at it long enough? Or was it the wind moving things? Or was it simply my perception? In my talk I gave today, I didn't have an answer for that. Because in the reality that we are experiencing, we have access to all possibilities being true and accurate. So with that, I am saying that yes, we live in a very dense, three-dimensional world. We have real bills, we have real fears, we have real death, real harsh experiences that can be quite scary, painful, and hard to deal with. As we are shifting our consciousness, as we are awakening collectively, individually, we are now having experiences where we can acknowledge and feel something different. We are starting to have more and more experiences of what I would say angelic energies, divine energies through us, around us, making us feel lighter, making us feel a little more aware, a little more connected to these higher energies. Both are real. Both can be unreal. Both can be, to the initiate who is living in these experiences of the clouds, can say, what's the big deal? So what? Just let the illusion of all that is happening just pass, or it isn't real anyway. I remember years ago hearing a story, let's say, of a Buddhist monk crying because he had lost his son. And another monk came to him and said, "Why are you crying? It's just an illusion." And his response was, "Because it's a very painful illusion." What we are experiencing right now is sort of moving, meandering through both worlds. We all came to Earth to experience the Earth. If we wanted to stay angels, we would have stayed angels. We would have just floated on through heavens. I believe that we are angels and that we have been incarnated as angels many times. And yet, for whatever reason, perhaps it was the timing of what's happening on our Earth right now, or maybe we just wanted to have fun, we chose to incarnate into physical 3D bodies to experience the humanness of our souls, to experience our soul as a human being. And we are doing a very good job of being human. And with that human part, we have pain and suffering, we have bills, we have death, we have all of these things that can cause things that don't feel so good, like emotions, stressors, mental stressors, etc. As we are collectively waking up, we are also starting to experience more and more light within our beings. And these are the souls that often, find their way to me or other people like me who recognize this path and this awakening. So what I offer is to experience both, to experience what it's like to be human and allow the beauty and the warmth and the tingliness and the angelic realms to touch our souls. Now, when we are in these human experiences, when we are in these places where everything just feels really intense and really hard, what I recommend is to try to have this angelic part of ourself, the one that's more enlightened, the one that totally gets there's an order to stuff, there's just this divine rhythm, to allow the energy of that to reach across and create a bridge into the depths of our human self. As we experience this energy of, oh my gosh, my life is so hard, this is very painful, I can't believe this happened to me again, we could say, you shouldn't feel that. You shouldn't feel that at all. That's not very enlightened of you. You should know better. Or we can let the gentle hand of the angel, at the angelic part of ourselves, really come down to this human place and say, it's okay. It's okay. It's really hard right now. And it's okay to feel what you're feeling. One thing I recommend doing is journaling. When you start journaling, you begin by at least writing out what you're feeling in the moment, acknowledging that. That can be a very powerful way to see, to feel, to express that human aspect without denying it, without shutting it down, without trying to make it change. And when we have the angelic energies of our conscious self, or perhaps we are in tune enough to know I should call a friend, we can have a friend call us, talk to us and say, I understand. And from there, we can start to feel a little bit more safe in the middle, feel a little bit more secure and a little bit more enlightened. And from there, we can begin to find that middle place. What we are going through right now is a meandering between the light, the angelic realm, all this love, and feeling that, as well as these dark energies of walking through the forest where we're a little bit frightened, we're a little bit alone. And when we're in that forest, we can judge it as scary, or we can start to notice, gee, look at that mushroom. Look, it takes all of this dampness, all of this darkness to create that beautiful mushroom. And then perhaps we are starting to notice that we may not be able to completely make the cloud disappear, but we can perhaps start to see a different image in that cloud. So with that, I invite you to allow yourself to be perfectly human, to allow yourself to be angelic, and to allow those two energies to meet you somewhere in the middle, so that you may find a little more harmony, a little bit more flow, a little more peace. And with that, I thank you.